I've selected over 100 live juries, and now I've selected 4 virtual juries. Let me show you the difference. This is a Zoom call with over 104 participants. Even when you narrow it down to this shot of potential jurors, all you see is little faces and little boxes, and sometimes you don't even see their faces. And you don't know what they're doing unless, for example, this juror who's in voir dire is working at the auto repair shop. Or even when you're in trial, this juror is watching the trial from his car on his phone. Virtual jury selection is not a one-man job. One set of eyes cannot watch all the potential jurors on a screen or even those who are not on the screen at the same time. You need multiple people trained in jury selection to watch the jurors. And while you're doing voir dire, in other words, asking the questions of the jurors, you can really only focus on one potential juror at a time. So you can't ask traditional questions to a group of jurors. For example, you ask one juror if they have any negative feelings about corporations and they express an opinion, and then you can ask the rest of the people in a live box, did you hear what Mrs. X said? Does anybody else have opinions like that? In virtual jury selection, that simply doesn't work. Rules are what's missing from virtual jury selection. In other words, court rules that were designed to create a formal atmosphere and force attention, concentration, and honesty are lacking. People who are left on their own devices, in other words, their computer and other things, don't focus in the same way. They don't take it as seriously, and often they don't abide by the rules. In other words, they're shopping on eBay, or they're taking care of their dog, or they're answering the door. They're not fully committed to the process. It's difficult to focus a virtual juror's attention unless you're interacting one-on-one with them. So you have a limited period of time to interact and make a decision as to whether this individual juror is good or bad. Once you're done with the examination and you're on to somebody else, you can't focus on the previous juror or the next juror. You're limited to really dealing with one person at a time. If you've never done virtual jury selection in the past, you have to think about all the things, frankly, that can go wrong and have multiple people with you at the same point in time. It's a divide and conquer process. People have to watch those potential jurors who are not visible on your screen. They need to figure out who's paying attention, who's not paying attention, and social research and jury questionnaires become more important because you have less physical time with each potential juror. It's hard to say what's the weirdest thing that's happened, but I can give you some examples. One potential juror was clearly in her car during jury selection, but she was driving while she was in her car. It turned out that she lost the Zoom link, so she drove to the juror commissioner physical office and missed the beginning of voir dire. She acquired the Zoom link, and then she got on Zoom on her phone and drove from the juror commissioner's office back to her home to attend jury selection. Hopefully, she wasn't completely concentrating on jury selection while she was driving. Regardless, she wasn't fully engaged in the process. Other examples would include people working out on elliptical machines, people asleep, people cooking in their kitchen, people answering the door to receive packages from Amazon, and all other things you could possibly imagine other than concentrating on jury selection.